the Millionaire just isn't what it used to be, Michael.
No, it's really not.
It's sad.
Are they suffering?
Yeah, they're suffering. They're finding that when you're at that 2% level, that the gap between 2% and 1%
It's huge.
is huge, and not even as big as the gap between the 1% and the 1/10 of 1%.
Yeah.
There's some huge gaps there, Michael. We've got to tighten those gaps up.
Leave your smugness at the door. It's time for Carl and Mike.
Welcome, Carl and Mike. I'm Carl.
Oh, yeah, and I'm Mike.
I had to think who I was for a
Oh,
second.
you did. I thought I was going to have to reach across
And slap me.
across.
It's morning. I'm still waking up.
Oh, that's right. Carl is not a morning person.
No. Here we are at the Corner Bakery Cafe in our corner booth.
We did get it again today.
Beautiful Dallas, Texas, a sunny day.
Yes, finally.
Finally, in the biblical floods that we're having here. But
Yes.
no climate change here. Nothing to look at, Ted Cruz.
Yeah,
Did you hear
nothing to see here. Walk along. Go along.
You just see him not begging, but demanding all the money. This is the guy who didn't vote for the money for the Sandy Hook tornado. You remember the hurricanes that wiped out the East Coast?
Oh, he said we're not going to do that.
Yeah, he was holding off on that.
Oh, so he's demanding money for the Texas floods? Oh,
Yes.
fuck
He
him.
is such a dick. Speaking of, I want to give a...
Don't we call that hypocrisy? Isn't that what that's called?
Yes, it is
Ted.
hypocrisy.
Ted, there's an English word for that. It's called hypocrisy. And my
This
guess
guy
is
is
there's
so
probably
predictable.
a Spanish word for it, too.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
I think we call it dick. He's
Yeah.
a dick. Oh, Dick does that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So I found there's a Twitter guy out there. Ted Cruz is a dick. and he's got...
Please support him.
He's got a Kickstarter kind of thing on Indiegogo, which is kind of a Kickstarter thing, and you can
Is that a Kickstarter thing for people who've got projects that Kickstarter won't let you do on?
probably
Yeah, okay.
yes, because Ted Cruz is a dick. I'm gonna say probably has a few things. He wants to create some interesting things though. He's got the Ted Cruz as a dick poster, of course, which is kind of a picture of Ted Cruz
As a dick?
as a dick.
Let's see.
It's hard to tell there. That's
Oh, he's got it looks like plastic dildos, and Ted Cruz's head is the, head of
It's
the
the
dildo.
dick.
Yeah.
But I like some of the other things that he's creating because he's got different perks, right? So you get the mini print for $10, but for $40 you get the early release of the Ted Cruz dildo. So I like that. And for $4,999 you get the 21 shotgunned beer salute. So yes, go check out Ted Cruz is a dick on Twitter, because Ted Cruz is a dick.
Yeah.
And somebody's already got that
Yeah.
domain name or Twitter handle, as should be. Because what a dick.
Yeah.
To
No, he's
you're right, hypocrisy. It's all that shit.
yeah.
It's like he can't do anything but be a dick.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's
Well, he just looks angry. What is that term?
dickish.
No. It was on several episodes ago. Disease of certainty.
Yes,
He is suffering from disease of certainty.
he is, and he's suffering from disease of dick.
Yeah.
'Cause there's some people, you've had them in your life, it's almost like you can almost predict what they're going to do because you just have to think,
Yes.
what would a dick do?
Yeah.
And they do that.
He's not, some people are dickish.
Yes.
This guy is full bore
Straight on boner dick.
boner dick.
Yeah. So, and the hypocrisy means nothing to him. Facts don't mean anything. They found out he's lies the most on his statements. Really, reality has no.
Oh,
Anyway.
well, more to come on him.
Yeah,
I'm
so let's
sure.
Go away from
We can't. Yeah, please. Just
Ted
go
Cruz.
away.
Ugh. We voted for him.
Huh?
Texas, I'm really unhappy with Texas. So they passed. This is the Governor Abbott regime here.
Yeah.
They passed.
Bunch of stupid
They
laws.
blocked the Tesla. They went with the car dealerships against Tesla.
Oh, okay.
So they're basically fucking with his business model. Why they
he's
that-
still going to be able to sell cars here, right?
No, not the way he wanted to.
Oh.
Yeah, so they did that. And then, of course, they just passed the cities aren't allowed to pass bills of blocking fracking.
Oh yeah, I love that one. These are
Yes.
the same people that whine
Want
about
the federal government out of your lives.
out of your life, but you
Right.
know we're the
State
state government,
government,
and we
yeah.
know best what's best for you. Yes.
Yes.
Where the good citizens of Denton goes, you know, we never used to have earthquakes, but we have earthquakes now,
Now, all the
and we're
time.
kind of thinking it's maybe has something to do with fracking, which
Yeah.
you know SMU did a study. You know, SMU is not Berkeley, folks.
No.
It's a real conservative school. Came out and go, yeah, it looks like it's probably fracking. And that same week is when Oklahoma came out and said, yeah, we're pretty sure it's fracking. So now
Is
they
there any
decided,
doubt there's fracking?
well, there is in the minds of the.
When you have no earthquakes and now you have lots of earthquakes, and the only thing that's changed is you're fracking.
and we just had a 4.0. That was the biggest one so far.
Yeah.
What was it last week?
And
or week
Irving
before
is
last?
getting a
Yeah.
ton of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, no. Texas, Mr. Abbott, and isn't he Tea Party? Isn't he supposed to be for the? Aren't the Tea Party position themselves like for the people?
For the people. They're.
But isn't that their fake front?
Oh yeah. No, that's the.
Right. They're against big government. They're against government in
that's
general.
the-
Aren't they
that's-
against government in general?
That's the
government
body
just,
copy.
The government just, Mr. Abbott, the governor, who will go down, I think, is possibly the worst governor of all time.
Yeah.
And he's only been in like a few months.
It doesn't take long.
The government went and blocked the business model.
Mm-hmm.
And the government went in and blocked cities from creating their own legislation.
Yeah, and we're also going to make sure that people can do concealed carry and open carry of weapons on college campuses. That's a good idea.
That's a
don't you
good
think?
idea because we
Yeah.
haven't had any college shootings.
Now, I think what we need to be able to do,
Give
if you're
me
going to if you're going to let people carry guns on college campuses, they also ought to be able to carry guns in titty bars, like Twin Peaks. Don't you think? I mean, why?
Yeah.
These
'Cause
all
I
these
think any
bikers.
alcohol-
Okay, here's a good
So
one.
the private business establishment can't determine whether they want it or not. They're
No,
forced to have
no,
them in
no,
there.
no. They're going to have them. It's going to be legal. And they're even saying private colleges you can't bar. A private college cannot bar people from carrying guns in there. But anyway, let's just think about the biker thing down in Waco. You got a bunch of bikers. These are banditos. Okay.
Right.
Let's say half the banditos don't have a criminal record that keeps them from owning a handgun. So in the eyes of the Texas law, they can own a handgun and it's legal, and they have a concealed carry permit, or they can carry it in a holster. So now you have these bandito bikers going into a titty bar, openly carrying weapons, as they're legally allowed to do.
We've really
Is-
gone into crazy town.
That's yeah. Oh yeah. It's completely nuts.
But I blame partially the Democrats need to be a little smarter. Like, what was the guy that back in the 60s that sat up in the tower and shot everybody on the campus?
Charles Whitman or something.
Charles Whitman. So
Yeah.
why didn't the Democrats label this legislation the Charles Whitman Law?
Oh, that would be
That
good.
is it.
Yeah.
I just came up with that at the top of my head. It's not hard, people.
And you're not even from Texas.
I'm not even from Texas, but you do the Charles Whitman
Shit,
Law.
you weren't even alive
Who's-
when that
are you going to
happened.
vote for Charles Whitman? You're going to make Charles Whitman the hero because
Yeah.
Charles Whitman carried
Yeah.
a gun on campus,
Yeah.
could have walked right up to the. I mean,
It
give me
all
a break.
hinges on copy writers.
And the Democrats
On the
cannot-
copyright. Now, yeah, I mean,
they need to
that's-
hire some
yeah.
copyright.
They need to hire some copywriters. Some
Because,
copywriters
geez
with some
Louise.
balls that'll like. put
Hello.
that- yeah.
Then you fight that. Now you've got the public going, I don't think I want the Charles Whitman Law. He was that crazy killer.
Yeah, he was the guy that crawled up into the bell tower and shot all those people down at UT. And,
And then-
that happened to be a college campus. Do we really want you? So are we going to allow them
The
to get-
Democrats need to play down at their level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, the Republicans want Charles Whitman to be legal.
Ooh.
Yes. Let's
You need to job yourself out as
job myself a little
yeah.
part-time gig here.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
No, it's coming. They're going to want you.
somebody's gonna want us.
Somebody's going to want us.
Yeah, that's right.
Is do an update on the presidential thing now. Let's say, Carl,
Yes.
that you were running for president, and I was your good friend since college, and you completely trusted me, and you said, "Okay, Mike, why don't you come alongside me on the bus? I'm in an exploratory phase, kind of testing the waters, as the federal government says that I've got an exploratory committee, and we're going to set up a PAC, and we're going to go on the road and raise money." I
Yes.
say, "Okay, Carl, that sounds like fun. Do I get to sit up front?" You say, "Sure." So we're sitting up front, and we're talking as we're driving around the country, still in the exploratory phase, which means that you're not an official candidate.
That's right.
Okay.
Just exploring.
So you don't have the limitations on fundraising that official candidates have, like senators, because senators, they figure, are always running for office.
Right.
They can't.
Yeah.
You see
so
that?
senators can't do that.
No, they can't, because they figure that because they're holding a federal, they're holding an office. They figured they're always running for re-election, which you know,
Right.
I really hate the thought.
So
of
senators
somebody
are getting kind of screwed.
They're getting kind of screwed. So anyway, you and I are riding around the country. We're talking to people, and while we run around the country and we're talking to all these sugar daddy billionaires, you can talk to them and say, "Hank, would you give me some money? And I could use as much as you want to give me. And we're going to put it over here with Mike in the pack." And he goes, "Sure, I can give you $500,000. And by the time we go through, we got a lot of money. And during our travels, when we're not glad handing and asking people for money, you and I are on the bus. I said, "Well, Carl, what do you think? What's your platform? What are you really passionate about? And where do you want to spend money to make things happen for you as a candidate, assuming that you run," which we don't know for sure that you're going to do yet, because all we're doing is driving around in a bus that says Carl on the side, right? Doesn't say Carl for president, it's Carl. So
I can have a bus that says my name on it
yeah, oh yeah.
in my exploratory
Yeah,
ventures.
well, no, probably not. I think you'd probably want it under the radar a little bit more. So we're just going to fly first class, and we'll take taxis or Uber in, and
Right.
we'll Uber in and out, and we'll fly in with Gulfstreams and Uber to the site and Uber out and go back. Okay, so we're just doing, at this point, we're
Probably
just,
chauffeur, don't you?
oh yeah. Well, it's going to be Uber Black, not the
Right.
Uber X. Anyway, so you and I are talking about how we need to spend all this stuff, and you're telling me what you think, you think the money ought to be spent. And I'm going to go, okay, fine. I'm taking notes and writing it down and going, yeah, this sounds real good, and I'm agreeing to it and everything like that. And so we wind up and we look up and we've got a couple of $1 billion.
All right.
Okay, let's be realistic. Let's say we only have half a billion, so we only have 500 million. But we've done pretty good with our bus and the Jeep, G6 tour, and then you decide, I think it's time for me to run. And then I say, okay, well, we can't talk about this stuff anymore, and you can't tell me how to spend this money.
That's what happens when you run.
Right. When you decide to
Then
run
I
and
can't
become
talk to
official,
you anymore.
you can't talk to me.
'Cause you're my
you can't
sugar
direct
daddy
me.
billionaire.
Right. And we can still fly around and go to the same events.
Wait.
But you can't come up to Hank and ask him for money.
Right.
You'd say, you need to talk to Mike over here. He's a pack, and he's
go talk
got
to
some
Mike.
good ideas. And you can't.
That's
tell,
what happens.
You can't tell me how to spend the money. But for the last 6 months on the road,
Okay.
you've been telling me how to spend the money.
Right.
So you've given me marching orders. So we've got the marching orders during the exploratory phase. So we know how we need to spend those funds.
Right. So here's my question. What if I decide after 6 months not to run? Do you have to give the money back?
That's a real good question. I don't know the answer to that. And that money
That'd
is
be my
probably
thing.
pledged money. Or it may be money that
Oh.
you can then direct to someplace else. Okay? That gives you influence on other candidates. I do not know the answer to that. That's a very good question.
And how
but I
much of
do
that
not
money
have-
can I use to pay for the limo to pick me up and the private airplane to take me
Well,
down?
those are people that are just being
just
helpful.
Nice, just helpful.
Yeah,
Is that how
those
that
are
works?
helpful. Those are helpful people.
So would you be describing what Jeb Bush is doing at the moment? Because he wasn't a senator.
I would be describing anybody that's not that can fall under that
So
thing.
Santorum could have been doing it.
Well,
Huckabee.
is Santorum? Is he?
He's not a senator
He's
anymore.
not a
He didn't-
senator?
he didn't-
yeah,
yeah.
he could be doing that.
Huckabee.
Who's not? Yeah, Huckabee could be doing that.
But not Rubio. Rubio's.
No, Rubio's senator. He falls
Right.
under a different deal
Right.
altogether.
Well, Governor Walker, who's a governor.
I think they figure. I think if you hold elective
If you
office,
hold elective office.
yeah, I don't think you have
So
to
you're
be
a bit of a
senator. I think
disadvantage at elective
You're
office.
a little bit of a disadvantage.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
For
financially, at
Right.
least.
well, only that you supposedly can't talk to. But how do they know that you haven't
You
talked?
can't talk to me. That doesn't mean
If you and I
somebody
got
else-
together and had coffee somewhere, let's say at a little corner
Mm-hmm.
booth cafe, and didn't have microphones on, how would they know that we didn't?
Oh,
we
they
talked?
wouldn't, would they?
No.
No.
I guess having a picture
I'm
taken.
just telling you what the rules are if you play straight up. Nobody's playing straight up. They got a whole bunch of lawyers figuring out how they can bend and do this stuff. Now, what I really want to find out is I started reading a little bit this morning about dark money. I don't know enough about dark money or what
everything
is
hasn't
dark
been
money.
dark that we've described so far.
No, I think this is pretty
This is
much
the
straight.
light?
Yeah, this is the light. This is the money that's supposedly in the light.
Oh, so there's actually a dark side to this.
Yeah. Well,
Beyond what we've heard.
oh, there's a dark side, and then there's the money that you don't see in the light or the dark.
Yeah. There's the money that's not even talked
And that's
about.
got to be. I haven't even started looking at overseas money, and this is the question that I have. If I'm the president of Ford Motors, I want to hire lobbyists and spend money on campaigns here to get things that are favorable for me as an American corporation that sells cars here, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Now let's say I'm a president of Honda. I'm not an American corporation. There may be Honda of America, but there probably is.
Yeah.
And does that so does all of a sudden becoming Honda of America, even though Honda worldwide is in, say, Tokyo, does that all of a sudden give you the ability to then push money into a national campaign? Is that not foreign money?
Yeah, that would.
Even though it's coming from an American corporation, American file corporation, it's not really okay. So
This money came from the good people of
Honda,
Alabama and the workers and the president of Honda America
bullshit.
was a multimillionaire himself.
Yeah,
But that's a very good question
You see?
to ask. So there's dark and then there's darker.
and then there's the people. Whoa, and it gets darker than that.
Darker than that?
Oh, yeah. Well, what about the people that don't have corporations here that just funnel money through? Let's say that they really want to give some money to the same candidate that Addleston is funding, and they go to one of his casinos in China, and they're friends. And he goes, I'm going to come in and I'm going to play blackjack, and I'm going to lose $500,000 to you.
You just make that up?
Yeah.
That'd be a way to do it.
And you go, I'm going to lose this money. I know I'm going to lose this money to you, and you can spend it however you want. But I really like what you're doing over in the United States. I like your candidate, and that's all it said. And I'm thinking, and you say I'm going to lose $500,000, and I'm thinking about coming again in June, and maybe even staying longer. You're not saying I'm going to lose more. You said I'm going to stay longer, but it's an implied kind of thing. I'm saying I don't believe for a second that shit's not happening. I don't believe for a second that shit's not happening.
Yeah. And we have a corporate media now, so they're not
you have a
looking into
corporate
it.
media. Yeah.
Because they're the millionaires to the billionaires.
Yeah.
I heard, let's talk about a new wage gap.
Ooh, wage gap?
Yeah. But there's another wage gap, Michael, and it's the wage gap that hasn't been talked about. We've heard enough about this billionaires, owning 130
And the
million.
burger flippers.
We've heard enough about the Walton family, 4 people. As Bernie Sanders said the other day, 4 people own as much money as 130 million Americans.
Oh.
4 people who are the largest employer, by the way.
Oh.
But that wage gap, that's,
Chump change?
That's not the real wage gap that we need to be concerned about here in
No.
America. We need to talk about the wage gap between the wealthy and the really wealthy. The millionaire just isn't what it used to be, Michael.
No, it's really not.
It's sad.
Are they suffering?
Yeah, they're suffering. They're finding that when you're at that 2% level, that the gap between 2% and 1%
It's huge.
is huge, and not even as big as the gap between the 1% and the 1/10 of 1%.
Yeah.
There's some huge gaps there, Michael. We've got to tighten those gaps up.
Do they have money?
So if you're a hedge fund owner, and you're a multimillionaire, you just still can't even get into some certain
is there
clubs.
coinage envy that goes on at those levels? Do
Yes,
you think? Do they
there'd
kind
be
of
coinage envy. Yes.
coinage envy? And you get to the point where you've got like say 50
You think
million,
you
and
think
go,
you've got the American dream, and then you find out, no, there's a ladder. There's a ladder that goes even higher.
yeah,
That you thought you worked so hard your whole life.
to get the 50 million.
You skirted rules, you overcharged, you
Yeah.
backstabbed your way to the top, and then you find out the top isn't even the top. It's a sad day in America.
Yeah,
You used
it
to be
really
able
is.
to.
I don't know how they're probably.
And who's looking out for the millionaire? Who, Michael? Who's looking out for the millionaire?
That's a real good question.
Billionaires
I
aren't
don't
you and
know.
I, the common man. We're
Yeah.
not looking out for him.
Yeah, we have our elected officials watching out for us.
Right.
The billionaires have the lobbyists.
Billionaires
And
have the
each other.
candidates. They
Huh?
beyond
And
the
the
lobbyists.
candidates,
They actually
yeah.
have the candidates
Oh, yeah,
now.
yeah.
But who does just the millionaire have? Nobody.
They really don't.
It's-
I hadn't thought
that's
about
why
that.
it's
That is
lonely
a
at the top,
tragic thing,
Michael.
Huh? It is.
Because
And
the
that's
top
not
isn't
even
the
at the
top
No,
anymore.
it's
That's
not.
the beauty of it all.
It's the top. They think it's the top, but it's the billionaires
Bottom.
projecting.
Yeah.
That
That's
this
a-
is the top. Look, it's got lights and flash, and look at all the cool stuff that you can live in.
That's right.
You can live in Aspen and stuff like that. Can't live in Monaco, but
Yeah.
you can live in Aspen.
To paraphrase, to quote our good friends Chris Rock, if the Waltons had multimillionaire money, they would slit their wrists as they jump off a building.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So actually slit their throats
Yeah.
as they're falling.
yeah.
So it's another wage gap that's not
hadn't
being
thought about
talked
that. That
about.
really-
and
I
we're going
think-
to talk about it here.
I think we should. And I mean, what are they going to do? What do they do to try and close that gap? That's
So-
a big gap to
Yeah.
close.
I'm thinking of a commercial. Remember
Okay.
the Indian with the little tear?
Oh, yes.
Yes, I think the millionaire with just a little tear going down, or maybe coming out of his nose
Sitting
from the Coke. A little tear coming out of his nose. The
Or he's
Coke-
got a little powder. No, he's got a little powder on his nose.
Yeah.
He's got a little tear coming
Yeah.
out. And he's sitting in a seat all by himself in his Gulfstream.
Yeah,
And it
a
pans
lonely
back, and
Gulfstream.
he's-
It's
and he's
empty.
in a Gulfstream by himself.
Oh,
Oh man,
not even a stewardess.
dude, that's
Blowing 'em
really getting.
or anything.
No, the stewardess doesn't do that anymore. No,
don't do that.
She's got a job with the billionaire.
Here's the sad part also of that little, he's alone in the Gulfstream,
No.
and he's renting the Gulfstream. He's got that timeshare Gulfstream. He doesn't even own the Gulfstream.
Oh, and he's got to hide the fact that he's doing timeshare.
Yeah.
Because his friends, he doesn't want to.
Doesn't know. Oh, 3 o'clock, the plane is
Oh.
not mine anymore.
And he's
Yeah.
and he's looking down and he's looking down at
Yeah.
his Rolex to get the time because he had to hawk his Patek Philippe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks,
The
man.
tear starts to
I
fall.
like that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We need to rally around
The poor millionaire.
millionaire.
Yeah.
The poor millionaire.
The poor
Poor man's millionaire. They don't get the respect, they don't get the honor. They worked hard to get there. Damn it. They climbed the ladder.
There are a lot of people suffered
Yes.
and gave
They-
gave way too much of themselves to get
Yes.
that person.
They laid off a good 5,000 people to bring that stock share up
Yeah.
so they could get
That
that
new
Gulfstream.
jet. Even
And
if
now
it is
they
a
find
timeshare.
out some guy like Sheldon Weinstein is way above them.
Oh, man.
Gap is big at the top, Michael. We always talk about the gap at the bottom.
That's really
Sure.
not the serious problem, is it?
It's the gap at the top.
Yeah.
It's widening at the top.
Yeah.
See, 99% of the money is going to the top 1%, and the top 1/10 of the 1% is getting the lion's share of that.
Ooh.
It's not even trickling
many of
down.
those people-
It's not trickling down to the millionaire
How
or
many people are
multimillionaire.
actually
Really, even
in-
multimillionaire doesn't cut it anymore.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So we need. What do you think? A fundraiser?
For the millionaire.
Yeah. What could we do? How could we help them? That's the question. Because nobody cares. Somebody has to have a voice.
Well, we can't get him out of that timeshare right away, so we're going to have to help him hide that fact. I
Yeah.
think-
The shame of
Yeah,
timeshare.
The shame of timeshare. Because, you really can't just call up Pete the pilot and say, Pete, let's go.
Pete's got to go. Yeah. I'm sorry.
he's
Your
gotta-
4 hours are up.
Yeah,
this
your
month.
4 hours are up, and I'm dropping you off in Lubbock.
Right. As a matter of fact, the time
not even gonna be
Well,
able to make it back
you
to
have
Dallas.
You have to Uber it to Dallas. Right. And there are not that many Ubers in Lubbock, I'm guessing. It's a tough
No.
life. It's a
Yeah.
tough life.
Yeah.
It's tough and it's lonely.
I don't know. How can we help them? I mean, if you do a fundraiser, it's
Fundraiser's
going to
probably not
kind of
enough.
draw
Yeah.
the light to.
Yeah.
We got to give money to them where it can't
Dark
be seen.
money.
Dark money.
There
I
we
think
go.
dark money. We need to give them. Try and figure out some way to get dark
So
money.
maybe
to
we
them.
just have people give us money, and then we'll dark money it to them.
Well, why would somebody give this person dark money? I guess it depends on what his business
trying to move
is.
him up to billionaire status.
Yeah. So they can use him at that level?
Yeah.
Would it be other billionaires that are trying to help him move up and join because they want to use him for something? They don't do that, do they?
Just kind of like toy multimillionaires to play with.
Yeah.
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 I've been watching House of Cards.
Oh, really?
Binging on House
Are you
of Cards.
binging that?
I'm on episode 7 in
Yeah.
season 1. Unbelievable.
We need to encourage people to binge listen to us. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah,
Binge
speaking
what?
of, we need to give a little shout out. We do have a new binge listener
Oh, okay.
on Twitter, Kylie McDonald. Thank you, Kylie is a new fan,
And she's been listening?
and she's binge listening, so she may get to this one.
Yeah.
Well, this one would be after her binging is over.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, we digressed.
Yes, but so House of Cards.
House of Cards, yes.
See, I've watched the first couple of episodes.
Have you watched
of that.
House of
No,
Cards?
don't get into too. Well, just the first
All right,
couple episodes.
all right.
Okay.
First couple episodes don't do it. I figure out the magic of House of Cards.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
kind of like
Which-
Breaking Bad. You got to get into it a little bit more.
Yeah, so the first two, they're just trying to set things up for you. So you don't really get what this is all about.
Yeah.
But here's what House of Cards is about. From 3 to 7 anyway,
Yeah.
is they take, was it Frank? Is that his name?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I do. Kevin
Underwood,
Spacey.
Frank Underwood,
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey. And they really kind of put him in a really untenable, disadvantaged position.
Mm-hmm.
And then we watch him maneuver his way out of it and win. And end up screwing the person who's about to screw them.
Oh, okay.
That's what this is. And so each week, it's a different scenario where and then they've got the overriding thing.
A
his
different
overriding
step
job.
that he takes
Yes,
to
that he
get
has
out
to.
of that.
Well, yeah. So they'll create a new scenario. So
Yeah.
that's what House of Cards does so brilliantly is put him in this. You look at it, you go, oh, he's screwed.
Yeah.
But he maneuvers his way through guile and chutzpah and through the politics of power.
Huh.
He says a great line the other day,
What?
which hit me really hard. He said, "Generosity is its own form of power."
Oh.
So
That
he does.
definitely
He's generous.
is.
When he's generous, it's because he wants the power from that act.
Well.
That was brilliant.
Do you think
in a
that,
dark,
do you
evil
think,
way.
Well, now think about that. Generosity is its own power. Okay, well, think about the Koch brothers and what they did
Yeah.
with the hospital.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Think about anybody that's wealthy and the money that they
They
give.
use money to give a little favor. I do scratch your back. You're
Yeah.
going to come back, or
Yeah.
you owe me. And owing is a big thing.
Well, it's one thing I found when I was doing work for doing signage and stuff like that. You work for these big institutions, hospitals and arboretums and stuff like that, and they decide to build some extra space, build a wing on, and they've got somebody it's going to be the Carl LaFlamme
Yes.
wing, right? Okay. Well, Suzanne would then call all of her friends who are at the same level financially and say, okay, it's my turn. We're building this wing on. We need your help. Okay?
Right.
And all those people get together and donate money for this at different levels underneath it.
Right.
And so you get your wing built. Okay?
Right.
Next year, they're going to be building a new garden at the Arboretum. And one of Suzanne's friends calls her and says, okay, this year it's our turn. We're building this wing. We need you to come and help. That's the way that shit
That's how
happens.
that works?
Absolutely. It's how that fucking
So
shit
maybe
happens.
that's our answer for Mikey the Millionaire.
Huh?
Maybe that's our answer for Mikey the Millionaire.
It's-
We get people together to buy him his own Airstream.
Oh, no. Well.
So
no.
he can fly like a billionaire, live like a millionaire.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, I tell you what we can do. We can hire some private dicks to look around and find more millionaires that are kind of living under the radar because they're having hard times.
Yeah.
And so what we do is we find out, well, who are these timeshare buddies? Because his timeshare buddies probably don't want anybody to know that they're doing timeshare too. So we're going, Mom over here needs some money. And so, you need to help him out a little bit. We're going to blow the whistle on the fact that you're timeshare.
The stigma of timeshare.
Huh?
You say there's a stigma with timeshare.
I think there's a stigma of anytime you're trying to project a certain image that's unreal, can't be substantiated. you try and protect that image.
But couldn't you argue that time sharing a jet, you don't need a jet all the time.
Yeah.
So that's stupid tax to own a jet because you're only going to use the jet.
People at that level don't care about stupid tax.
No,
Are
they
you
don't.
kidding? No, fuck no. They got lawyers to take care of their stupid tax, and accountants. The accountants do everything. They figure out how to pay as little tax as they can, including stupid tax.
Yeah. Okay. So that's covered, is what you're saying.
Yeah. That's probably why Mark Cuban is on the commercial for AT&T.
Yeah. Why is he
or
on
whoever,
that commercial?
So he can get free phones.
Get out. Is it that simple?
I'm sure it's part of it.
I couldn't figure out why
I
he
bet
was
he
doing
gets
that.
free phones. Why
I
is he
couldn't understand why did he own a share in Verizon? I couldn't understand.
I don't.
Was it ego?
Oh, with him. A lot of it's ego.
But why
A lot of it
do
is ego.
the commercial? I just don't get that. He didn't need the money.
Yeah.
There's got to be some favor.
Well,
that's the Billionaire Club.
Yes,
Because he's trying to get it.
Yes.
Oh, I just figured it out.
Yeah.
He's trying to go from the 1% to the 1/10 of 1%.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's a steep.
The 1%
deal.
of the 1%.
Because I think what does he
That's a
have?
steep-
He has a few
yeah.
billion. Maybe
he's
something
a
like
long way
that.
from
But that's a long
1/10.
ways from Gates' money, or Buffett money. That's a long ways. And who the hell knows how much the sheiks have? Anybody counting them?
Who?
The
Yeah.
oil sheiks.
Yeah, no.
They're not going to let people count their money.
I
They're
don't even know how they get on the list.
they're
because
probably-
isn't Fortune, they come up with the top money makers. How do they even know how much money the sheiks have?
the sheik
They
says,
made a
okay,
phone
you
call
can,
and the sheik said, yeah, okay, 60 billion.
yeah, you can count. Yes, exactly. Are they going to say, here are all my things that I do? You go out and
Yeah,
yeah,
and audit it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a real good question,
Yeah.
actually.
How do they even know? I
How
can
do they
understand Bill Gates owns public stock. We know how many shares he owns.
Yeah.
You figure out how many shares.
Yeah.
That's how much Bill
Yeah.
Gates. But how does the guy from Saudi Arabia, how do you know his money? Come on.
And,
you
and
don't.
Buffett and the slim guy from Mexico. Yeah, that guy's not going to say, well, here's all my business dealings,
Yeah.
and here's how much money I'm making off each one. Why don't you just add it up and put me in there where you think I belong? Oh, bullshit. They're not doing that.
Right.
That doesn't count his coke money and his other shit that's going on down there.
Yeah.
Does
the
it?
sheiks, the Saudi Arabians, they own the country. So they don't own a corporation. They own a country.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of money. Not to mention the money they get from.
Actually, owning the country that corporations are in, Mo better. Wouldn't that be Mo better?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if
that's
you
Mo
really
better.
want to be honest about the Fortune top money makers, don't you got to put the Pope at the top of the list there?
Ooh.
Isn't he in charge? Doesn't he own all the stuff in the Vatican? He owns his own country too,
Yeah, he
and his
does
own
have
city.
Yeah.
He owns all the paintings and the gold.
And
You
those-
think Joel Osteen is rocking the free world?
Yeah.
Go talk to the Pope.
Yeah.
That's some serious cash.
Yeah. And who's going to count that money? Nobody's going to get a chance to
Well,
count
that's why the
that
Pope's
money.
never on the list. But don't you think the Pope should be on the list?
I think the Pope should be on the list.
Absolutely. And I like Pope Francis. Don't get me wrong. He
No,
walked in.
he should.
walked
He's
into
not going to be on the list because
'Cause
if
he's a-
you said
he's
he
a
was
kind
the
of a president?
yeah, presidents don't count.
So he
because
doesn't-
then
that's
you'd
why
have
he's
to
not
say
on the list?
Obama's on the list. And
Yeah.
No, you don't do that. But yeah, that's a real good question. How do they know what that money is? They don't. It's just some wild
They
ass
asked the
guess.
secretary
Yeah.
of Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
Sheikh, what do you want to put you down for? I mean, how do you even?
All they're doing is counting the money that shows up when they turn the light on. It doesn't. They're not able to count the money that's in the shadows,
Yeah.
or down the sewer line.
Exactly.
Not that we're saying that any of these people are involved in
No, we're just wondering.
unhealthy
That's what we do.
activities.
We wonder.
We wonder because we don't know.
We don't.
We really don't know.
Being part of the 99%,
Yes, yeah.
we're clueless.
But we're comfortable with being not knowing. Some people are not comfortable. What is the deal with that? They're not comfortable with not knowing.
They have to know.
They have to know.
So you just give
or
them a
pretend
story.
they know.
You just give them a story,
Yeah,
and they'll run with it. And then,
Yeah.
then they don't have to think about it.
yeah.
I think it's kind of like, Steve Jobs never changed his clothes, and they asked him why. He does the whole, because he didn't want to think about it. He's got a million other things to think about.
Yeah.
So, because he's running the biggest corporation in America.
Yeah.
So a lot of rich people, they don't want to think about, that's why they wear the suit, and they don't have to think about what to
Yeah.
wear. Kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to buy this
Yeah.
this Christian belief, or I'm just going to buy this story 'cause I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Life's simpler.
It is
If
simpler.
someone else tells you how it is
I
over
think I'm
here.
going to get rid of my clothes. That's an 80-20 thing, you know?
Here's the deal. Let's say you get rid of 80% of your clothes, and you're referring to that we use 20% of our clothes.
Yeah.
So if you get rid of the other 80%, then you'll start to use 20% of that 20%.
So if I keep doing that, then I'm going to default down to a black turtleneck and jeans.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
So you're just going to buy 9 of them.
Yeah.
And then you wash them, get them washed. Yeah.
And then at least it doesn't matter what 20% of those t-shirts, that all looks alike.
Yeah.
I fucking like that, actually.
Do you?
Oh,
Not having to think about clothes anymore? Just
Yeah.
wear the same thing every day?
Yeah, I like
Didn't
that.
you feel a loss of expression, Michael?
Well, Jobs didn't feel a loss of expression. His expression
didn't.
was what he did
Right
at
into
work.
his work, baby.
Yeah. Oh, buddy.
Not
Yeah.
into his clothes.
I like that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I may be seeing you in the same.
Ah.
There you
I
go.
don't know. Maybe so. I like that.
What else could we not even think about that we have to deal with? We'll cut out a lot of energy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a real good question.
We could hire these things. Does the 1/10 of 1%, do they have like a flosser? Someone that comes in and just flosses their teeth for them.
A flosser?
A flosser.
A flosser. Maybe. And who is it that had the ball washer? Oh, Robin Williams used to talk about the ball washer. Wasn't it Robin Williams that talked about the ball washer? I got a ball washer. I miss that guy.
You could take that into a whole nother levels.
Yeah. No, I think they probably do. They have flossers and ball washers and people that, trim their armpit hairs. Because, when was the last time you trimmed your armpit hairs?
Never?
Really? So they probably need it. But these people have. And I didn't even know.
This is a good point. Why does the head on your hair, you have to cut your hair, right, every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But hair on other parts of your body, you don't have, why doesn't it grow like the hair on your head?
Some of it does.
If you ever cut your armpit hair,
No, I've never cut my armpit.
why isn't that hanging down below your nipple at this point?
I think because you don't cut it. If you start cutting it, it's going to start going.
You're saying if you did cut it,
Yeah.
it would start to grow like a crazy?
I don't know.
Like if you shaved your armpit, would hair grow back?
Oh, yeah.
So it stops at a certain level.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's the length.
See, maybe there's the thing to look at.
the weight of it or
Maybe that's the way
something
to
else.
solve balding or something,
What?
Because if you could get your head on your hair to act like your armpit hair, you would then not have to cut your hair. And jobs would be lost. Across barbers. But maybe there's a gene there that stops the hair growing in your... These are the deep thinking we get here on Carl.
I don't know, Carl.
Maybe there's a gene that stops the hair growing in your armpit, that if they just took that little gene and put it on your...
Slice it under your
in
scalp.
under your
they could
scalp.
They could do a cut from top to bottom and just kind of stick some of those genes in there.
Yeah. Like hair on the nose growing. I've noticed that lately.
Or your ears.
Have you had that?
Yeah. Oh, have I had it? Are you kidding me?
I didn't have that in my 20s. I didn't have
no.
nose hair. I didn't have
No,
like a
huh?
nose hair
Yeah.
clipper.
Yeah.
What happened? So all of a sudden...
Have you
this-
ever used a nose hair clipper?
Yes,
One of the
I have.
rotary
Zzz,
dudes?
yeah.
Oh, no, man.
Yeah.
I got one that was
Yeah?
a hand. It was a hand crank thing.
It was
it
a
wasn't
hand
electric.
crank? You
Yeah.
hand
Well,
cranked
no,
it?
it's never a crank, but you'd kind of push a button like that. And I thought, okay, this is great. And I put it in there, and I pushed that
Ow.
button, and it
Oh.
grabbed him and just twisted him around.
Oh.
I thought I was going to fucking die. And then it locks up.
Yeah,
And
'cause
you
then you're-
gotta- and then your eyes are watering, and you're going, "Oh my God, this
It
is
went in and
awful."
grabbed it.
Oh yeah, and
Oh.
then twist them. You just take. It's like if you think about it, if you get the hairs now and just took them and twisted them.
Ow.
And then you got a piece of cold metal in there, and you're trying to figure out how to unlock
It's
that
just,
shit. and
even
you're-
sometimes if you go too far with the little rotary, you go, ooh, that was a little too
Yeah,
far.
yeah, that's a little too far. So I shy away from that. I get the hedge clippers up in there and shit, but
I just don't get what happened.
And
All of a
ear
sudden,
hairs, I don't
so
know.
somewhere around 45, the gene kicks in that says we're going to start growing hair out the nose.
it's a survival thing. Yeah, they're putting all their
What is
survival.
the hair doing to protect
I
you
don't know.
there?
They're putting all their hope. That your body is now putting all its hope in nose hair and ear hairs.
Yeah.
Because they're going. We got
Yeah.
to give up on the head because nothing's happening up there. Let's sprout
We're
out
losing it on
somewhere
the
else.
head. We're going to come out the nose.
Yeah, nose.
But not the armpit,
not
ironically.
the armpit. No, that's the last. That's the
Last
last.
bastion.
That's the last.
Maybe
bat.
when you're dead, the armpit hair starts
It
to
might.
grow.
It
So if
might.
you open up these coffins, there'd be
Yeah.
like 10 feet of hair
Well, the
coming
other
out the
place
armpit.
is your butthole. You don't want hair.
Oh.
You don't want a bunch of hair to grow down there because you don't want to get in there and clip it because you can't see it. How you know? How you gonna know whether you get a good
Okay,
job?
stop.
These are quite. These are deep thoughts.
Deep thoughts.
We
of
went
Carl
down that
Mike.
hole, didn't we?
Yeah, speaking, boom,
Yeah.
literally went down that hole.
Okay.
All right, you're right. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
You'd hate to have a ball washer and a butthole clipper, hair clipper.
But these are problems that billionaires have. Is who is it going to
Who's
floss
gonna
their
take
teeth?
that? Yeah.
And who's going to clip their armpit hairs? And who's going to wash their balls? But you know what? They have the money to pull it off.
Yeah. But I've never really just washed my balls. It's like a focus just like that, ball
Yeah.
washing. Why would there?
Well, you just it's a different world, Carl. I don't
I
know
know. I can't
how or
understand
why
it.
they live the way they do, but they think different than you and I.
So the millionaire really can't afford the ball washer.
No, you really can't.
Or the flosser.
He dreams of having a ball washer.
He still has to get his wife to do it.
Yeah.
Boom.
All right.
All right. Well, we've done it again.
Yeah.
Another fine episode.
Done something.
I guess this is going to get the explicit warning.
Yeah, oh
on
yeah,
this one.
there will be some explicit, yes.
Probably started with Ted Cruz as a dick and
Yeah,
straight
and
to
then the ball
butthole
washers.
hairs,
And ball
clippers,
washers.
butthole hair clippers. I like that.
Ooh.
Oh,
Zzz. No, why?
you got to tell them about Carl and Mike. We now have 5 questions, 5 minutes of video podcast. with Carl and Mike.
That's
no,
right.
not enough audio, so don't. So you can listen to us on those 5 questions in 5 minutes, but now you can get us on video. So look for us on iTunes. Do a little search for Carl and Mike, and now 2 things will show up:
Yeah.
the podcast and the video podcast.
So for y'all that really wanted to know what we look like or were confused about what we look like, you
Yes.
might want to take a look at that. And then you go,
Yes.
and it wasn't
Yeah,
as
then
good
you
as
go
what I had in
switch
my
right
mind.
back to audio.
yeah.
Quickly. Or you could just black screen the video, which
Yeah, there you go.
and then if you're not into iTunes, you can also find the video at carlandmike.podbean. That's podbean.com. carlandmike.podbean.com is the videos are there for you non-iTunes users. So we've got you covered everywhere on social media with Carl and Mike.
Like us, subscribe us.
Rate us, review us, wash our balls.
Yeah, watch.
All
All right.
Peace.
Bye. Out.